Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Earl, and welcome to an unboxing video. We finally got another Horrified set, and that is Horrified Dungeons & Dragons, and you know, just look at that box art. That box art is wicked. So cool. I've played Dungeons & Dragons once. I know I'm a really big board game guy, but I've never had a group. I usually just play board games solo, honestly. And D&D is just not something I feel like I'd have fun with solo. I'd definitely rather play it in a group. But you know, wizards and dragons and pretty much all this fantasy stuff is stuff that I really like. So we're going to crack right into Horrified Dungeons & Dragons. This is the fifth, kind of sixth Horrified set. Because I said kind of sixth because this is like the fifth one that came out, but it was like a little promo box. But this is like the fifth actual normal Horrified set that came out. It just comes with 4 monsters again. Let's take a look at the back. So let's see. So it says, terror is in the eye of the beholder. I know it's a little hard to see here. Let me move. Nope, nothing's happening. And then if you turn around to the back, a cooperative game against iconic monsters of Dungeons & Dragons. New gameplay inspired by D&D, and includes a 20-sided D20. And then obviously you have your monsters down here. Delve below the city of Waterdeep into the most notorious dungeon of all. Beholder, Displacer Beast, Mimic, and Red Dragon are terrorizing Under Mountain. Your team of heroes must defeat them by completing each creature's unique challenge. Adventure again and again, or adjust the difficulty by facing a new group of monsters every game based on the award-winning Horrified board game series. And in the instruction booklet, I did kind of already open it and look at the instruction booklet to see like how the monsters worked. And it did say that if I could follow a link and it would tell me how to combine this with other Horrified sets. So this is once again another combinable one. So the first thing you're going to see when you open the box is this. It's the mouth of something. I want to say the beholder. But yeah, there that is. Usually when you open the box it's a note. And then this is the rest of it. Oh, come on. Just all toothy and honestly really gross. Alright, and then you flip the board over. And this is what you got. Alright. So, let me kind of control my tripod here for a second. So, this is the board you got. A lot of locations, actually. This might be the most locations on any Horrified board. I'm not going to name them all. I just want to, you know, do a little skim over it. Very aesthetically cool board. Alright, so that's the board. Get my chair back over here. Alright. So let's angle this back down, and around the sides of the box, you're going to see the Mimic. Oh, that was the Mimic. That was the Mimic's mouth. Alright, so this is the instruction booklet. Looks like an old leather book. And this is all of our contents. This is monster setup, player setup, how to play, how to use the D20. This is just explaining all the different actions and the monster cards. And then, yeah, this is explaining like how you control the monsters, and this is explaining how you beat and set up the monsters. And then there's this Horrified Dungeons & Dragons can be combined with other Horrified games. You can challenge yourself with combos of fearsome monsters to create a terrifying mix of fear and destruction that only you can imagine. Visit ravensburger.com/combine Horrified to learn more. Alright, boom. That's the instruction booklet. And then the next thing you're going to see when you open up is the monster mats and a whole lot of cardboard. So, let's get into the cardboard here. I did not punch it out. Let's see what items we got here. that only Dungeons and Dragons people will know. Probably. We got the Abandoned Priory. Looks like a torch or something. Backpack. Oh. No, it's a torch. I thought this down here was the name. No, that's where it gets placed. No, this is a torch. But we got some backpacks. Let's see, we got some lanterns. And these items don't have like a color. They actually just have a shape. So there's a yellow square, I think a blue circle, and a red triangle. We got some ropes, rations, and shovels. And what are some of the other items we got? Yeah, it's blue circle and, red hexagons. We got some candles, flask of oil, pouches. Here's some more rations. We got cult drops, which look like ninja stars. Okay, that's all of our yellow items. Then we got blue items, which seem to be the magic ones. Okay, so these are kind of just like support items, it looks like. Or like items that'll help you along the way, you know, like food and stuff to light your way so you can see where you're going. Now we got the magic items. We got staves, rings, a spell casting focus, a spell scroll. We got some wands here. And it seems we have 2 copies of each item. We got a rod. We got a holy symbol. There's 2 of those. We got a potion, amulets, and spell books. Okay, so that seems to be all of our magic items. Now we're into our melee combat items. We got, I guess I'm starting over here. We got halberds, which just looks like a sphere. Axe thing. We got a greatsword. Greatswords are always fun. Battle axe. I like battle axes. We got longbows. I used to be a bow and arrow guy. We got Morning Star, which looks like just a mace. We got long swords. Let's see. Here's our maces. We got a quarterstaff. We got some whips. And the final item we got here are daggers. Alright, so that is one thing of cardboard completed. The other cardboard we're getting here is our terror tracker. One of the ways you can lose the game. And also your frenzy marker, which will show like what monster goes first, or if the fire icon shows up. Now we got some special things for the monsters. We have 4 layers here, but the only monster in this set that has a lair is the dragon. And he actually has 2 that you have to find. The other 2 are just blank, but I'm assuming if you're combining these with other Horrified sets, then you can use that. Alright. And then we have some more special items. These are all for the dragon. Because there's like a little slidey puzzle. These are all like obstacles that you'll have to go through on its little monster mat. Like there's a little slidey puzzle, you slide around to try to get this amulet to the exit. This is the amulet you're trying to get. Or it might not be. Why is this an orange circle? Or a yellow circle? Maybe that's how you move it. And then, yeah, the rest of his special items are here. All these are moved with the corresponding colored item, I'm assuming. Alright. Let's get out the citizens. First one we have here. Who are you? Tasselgrin Veldarn, and I'm assuming these are all like characters in D&D lore. But these are citizens that will be placed on the board with monster cards, and the monsters can kill them and raise your terror level, but you can save them by getting them to the location that is on their thing. So she's going to spawn somewhere, and then you have to get her to the Obelisk of the Eye, wherever that would be. Who is this? This is City Watch. Alright, who is this? This is Black Viper. Well, whose City Watch's safe location is Blackstaff Tower. Her safe location is the abandoned camp. Who is this? Volathamp Gedarm, whose safe location is the entry well. Who are you? Mert. The Yawning Portal Tap Room. Wirt. Alright. Who are you? Oh, you are the City Guard Captain. The Yawning Portal Tap Room. Oh, same thing as him. What about you? Olive Stillwater. And your safe location is Dead Man's Corner. Who do we got here? This is Nazca Urge, and his safe location is Skull Gray is Skull Island. I read that wrong. Okay. Oranax, whose safe location is Agaron's Tower. I hope I'm saying all this right. Oh god. And finally, our final citizen is Nihilor, Nihilor, which safe location is also Dead Man's Corner. Alright, so that's all of our citizens. That's all of our extra stuff. Now, let's get into the characters that you could actually play. So, they took straight from the classes of Dungeons & Dragons here. So, let's see. The first character we got here. I'm just going to pop them right out. Hopefully not ripping anything. Okay, that's another thing of cardboard down. We got here. We got the Wizard. They are going to have 4 actions. And so how this works now is all of the Horrified sets, all the characters will just have 1 ability. But now in here, all of them have multiple abilities. And it just depends on the dice roll if you get to use it or not. So here is the Cleric here. Obviously, this looks like a painting. This looks like the actual character. So this is the Wizard. If you roll a 1, they start at the Blackstaff Tower. If you roll a 1, it's no effect. If you roll a 2 to 8, you roll the d20, move any monster to that location except Red Dragon, move Red Dragon to a lair. If you roll a 9 to 15, you roll the d20, you move any hero to that location. That location? What do you mean? Oh, the locations are numbered. Locations have numbers. That's interesting. 6 to 19, move any hero to any location. Or a 20, move to any location, gain a perk card. Obviously, rolling a 20 is really good. So that is the Clerk, or the Wizard. Why did I say Clerk? Weird. I just woke up, so my mind's not in it. Probably because I was looking over here about ratings, seeing the other card that was falling out, and it said Cleric. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the Cleric next. So, here's the Cleric, and this is the Cleric's art. Alright, looks like the Cleric deals with some enchantments, I guess. Alright, so I'm assuming she's going to have to do something with, before I read these, I'm assuming she's going to have to do something with item strength, but let's find out. So, she has 4 actions, and if you roll a 1, obviously no effect. I'm assuming if you roll a 1 for all these, it's no effect. If you roll a 2 to 8, during the monster phase, reroll 1 die with a hit or power result. Ooh. If you roll a 9 to 15 during the monster phase, reroll all dice with a hit or power result. During the monster phase, if you roll a 6 to 19, during the monster phase, if a hero is defeated, do not move the terror marker. Instead, move the hero to your location. And if you roll a 20 during the next monster phase, all monsters attacked this turn is only 1 die. Gain a perk card. So if you roll a 20, you gain a perk card, on top of also saving citizens. Okay, so I was completely wrong about the Cleric. The Cleric has a lot to do with the monster phase. The Cleric will help you kind of control the monsters. And while the Wizard had something like that, he couldn't do anything with the Red Dragon. It seems that the Cleric can. Alright, let's get to our next character here. So, come on. Doesn't want to come out. Alright, and then that standee's right here. Alright. Next one we have is the Fighter, who has 4 actions. And here is the standee for the Fighter. Alright. So, what are your actions? So, obviously, 1, no effect. 2 to 8, immediately move to the nearest monster's location. Interesting. 9 to 15, during the monster phase, ignore all hit results rolled by one monster attack. 6 to 19, do not draw a monster card this turn. 20, gain 2 more actions this turn, gain a perk card. Okay, interesting. The fighter doesn't seem as good. This ability, though, do not draw a monster card this turn, could be really good, but you only have a 3-number win or a 4-number window. All right. Yeah, but I definitely want to say that he seems as strong as the other two. Where did... Oh. I left a character in this cardboard over here. Okay. Next character we get to talk about here is the Bard, and it's like a bird thing with a violin or a ukulele, whatever they call it there. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's like a bird thing. That's cool. I like this character. This is probably my favorite character design so far. That's just because I also like ravens and crows. Okay, so 4 actions. I think they all have 4 actions. That's something new. Yeah, obviously 1 is no effect. 2 to 8, move all citizens up to 2 locations towards you. 9 to 15, move all heroes up to 2 locations towards you. 6 to 19, move monsters 2 locations away from you. 20, move any citizen or hero to your location, gain a perk card. Interesting. Once again, not seeming great. Could definitely help save citizens and gain a lot of perk cards, but I just don't think that... Oh, also, all these characters, I'm not even looking at this, but all these characters have, like, different designs on their badge. On their... like, different looks on them. I didn't even notice that. The Bard seems to be maybe the worst one so far. But he could help get you out of sticky situations if monsters move a lot. Alright. And the final one we're talking about is the Rogue, who has 4 actions. And here is the miniature for the Rogue. Really cool, with like that little flying one-eyed cat thing. Okay, obviously 1 has no effect. If you roll a 2 to 8, you share items with any and all heroes. If you roll a 9 to 15, you take 2 items from the nearest location. If you roll a 6 to 19, you take 2 items from the discard pile. If you roll a 20, you take 3 items from the Horrified Haversack, gain a perk card. The Horrified Haversack is what they call a bag that you draw the items randomly out of. Really cool. Okay, I like this guy. I definitely think the best 3 are the Cleric, the Wizard, and the Rogue. And I think the worst one's the Bard, and I think the Fighter's just okay. But, hey, you never know, right? They could all be really good in their own way. But, yeah, that's them. That is all of our heroes. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Oh, still some cardboard I haven't even punched out here, actually. Look at these little X marks. I think... Oh, God. I think these are for the Beholder, but I'm not sure. Hang on. I'll be back when I am done. Alright, so I got all the X's out of there. They didn't pop out too easily. I took some excess cardboard with some of them and ripped a little bit of them somewhat. They just did not want to pop out. It took me a minute. But I'll clean those up whilst I'm playing. But that is all of the cardboard that we have to talk about here. A whole bunch of cardboard, obviously. Now, obviously, I know we want to get to the monsters, but first, let's look at the Horrified Haversack. Oh, yeah, this is printed off center. That is bothering me. Okay, so here's the Horrified Haversack. This is Velcro sealed, really nice quality bag. Oh, wow. That Velcro is stronger than it usually is. That we usually stick all the items in. But that being off center is going to bother me. Oh, no. My OCD can't handle it. But yeah, this is where you would... This is where you'd put all of the items in. So, let's just... None of the monster pieces go in here unless the monster explicitly states to put their items in the item like a specific item in the item bag that belongs to them. However, that has never been a thing. But who knows? Maybe someday in a Horrified set. If they do anymore. I'm sure they will. But who knows? This could be the last one. They might be running out of things that they can actually do. You know, with all the licensing and stuff. But yeah, this is the bag that you would put all the items in. Give it a shake. Open it up. The card tells you how many items to draw. Like if the set had a 2 on it, you draw 2 items. Like I said, I accidentally placed that in there. Oh no, did I? Oh, wait, no, never mind. I thought I did that to all the Dragon's items. You would draw 2. You would read them and place them to their locations. Alright. What's this? These are bases to put on all the characters. Here's your normal attack dice, which are like this red resin. Really cool. Those might be my favorite dice of the series so far. And here is our D20. First time taking this out of the bag. And interesting. It's got a lot of glitter in it. It's mostly red. I think all the black dye in the dice kind of went down here. But still, cool. Introduces a mechanic. One thing that none of the Horrified sets introduced with their game specifically is that the D20 can completely change. It completely changes how the game is played. All right, my first roll, I rolled a 10. Rolled a 10 right there. Right. And is that the symbol for the 1 or is that the symbol for the 20? Okay, that's the 1, and on the exact opposite side is the 20. Okay, so that's the symbol for a 20. It's like a little dragon breathing fire. Cool. But you know what we're all waiting for. Let's get to the monsters. The dragon needs its own bag. Alright, so what's the first monster we're talking about here? I already looked at all these monster mats. I kind of just put them in my own little order. So the first monster we're talking about here is the Mimic. And let me get his miniature out here. Let's get them all out, because the Mimic was at the bottom. Alright, here's the Mimic's miniature. Really cool. Chest with the tongue sticking out. That's the Mimic. And the Mimic actually gets put on its own little board here. So, let's just get... first, let's get to the setup. So, let's see here. The Mimic. Place the Mimic on its monster mat on the start location. Note, the Mimic is on its monster mat. Perk cards do not affect it. Same thing with monster cards. And monster's attack movement does apply to the Mimic. Move it that many spaces to its monster mat. So however much the attack on a monster card is, I think, is how much the Mimic moves. Okay, so the Mimic, I'm pretty sure, where is the start location? The start location's here. So the Mimic's going to start here, and he's going to move around the thing. He's going to be turning into these different treasure chests. But yeah, this is his own little board, and he pretty much stays on this board for most of the game, actually. So his symbols are what? A purple wand, a gold treasure chest, and a blue, like a green teal book. So the objective is find the Mimic and defeat it quickly. Its power, if it rolls an exclamation point, on the dice, you remove the highest strength item from the location nearest to the hero of the current player. So the current player, the highest strength item from the location nearest. So probably from the location they're in, unless there's no items in there. All right. So to beat it, you move per monster attack, which I'm assuming is on the card itself. If the Mimic passes or stops on one of the red monster symbols, which there's 2 of them, both on opposite sides of the board, you draw an item. If all heroes have matching color item, discard those items and the Mimic appears at the active player's location. If not, raise the terror level by 1 and the Mimic stays on its path. Discard the drawn item. So you guys are going to want to have a lot of the same items so the Mimic actually appears. And basically it's turning into whatever item you're holding. You don't want it to not appear because it's going to raise the terror level, which is really bad for you. But it's going to be moving around on this board the whole time. Okay, and then finally, defeat the Mimic. Once Mimic appears on the game board, you may battle it. At the Mimic's location, discard 6 strength and blue items to battle the Mimic and defeat it. So the Mimic seems pretty easy. He seems like he could be defeated really quick. But it all comes down to whether you guys can actually maintain having the same items or not while playing. Okay, the next monster I have here. And also its Frenzy is 5. Like, the Frenzy for these monsters are all pretty high, actually. What's this Frenzy? Frenzy 4? Oh. Frenzy 1. And then we got a Frenzy 6. Okay, actually, I guess we're talking about the Displacer Beast next. Here's the Displacer Beast. It's like, this is the only monster I went into this board game knowing nothing about, but that's only because I played Dead by Daylight, and the Beholder and the Mimic are both in Dead by Daylight, and the Red Dragon is a red dragon. Everybody knows what a dragon is. The Mimic's a jump scare in Dead by Daylight, the Beholder's a jump scare in Dead by Daylight, and the Mimic is part of Vecna's power, who is the Dungeons & Dragons killer, is Vecna. But this ain't a Dead by Daylight video. So, but if you're a Dungeons & Dragons fan, check that out. Alright, so what's your setup? So, place a Displacer Beast at the location indicated by the 1, which would be at the abandoned camp. Actually, I just saw it from here. Alright. Displacer Beast, its power. You determine the Displacer Beast's true location and then vanquish it. So I'm assuming it could, like, clone itself, or I don't know. Power, displacement. Move Displacer Beast to the next closest hero. That hero will take any hits from the Displacer Beast on this turn. Here is its miniature. I don't know if the tentacles are supposed to be bent together like that, but they're kind of stuck together. I think they're supposed to be a little outwards. But what you gonna do about bent miniatures, you know? But yeah, here's the Displacer Beast. Alright, how do you defeat it? It has a lot of numbers here. So, at the Displacer Beast location, place an item on the spot below. So you have to kind of stay with it. But its power is it also will teleport to you. So that might not be so hard to do. The item strength must be equal to the amount of the number covered. 1, 2, or 3. So if you have a 1 strength item, you would put it up here. If you have a 2 strength item, you would put it here. If you have a 3 strength item, you put it here. Once at least 5 items are placed, you may attempt to strike Displacer Beast. So you don't even have to fill up this whole table first. You could just have to fill up 5. Strike the Displacer Beast. At the Displacer Beast location, discard 7 strength in any items, colors, and roll the d20. If the result is covered by an item, place the Displacer Beast is defeated. If not, move one of the items to a different spot. If you roll a 1, you discard a placed item. If you roll a 20, you defeat the Displacer Beast, gain a perk card, and an additional action this turn. So a 20 is an automatic KO. A 1, you actually just end up discarding the item. Those are the only 2 numbers that aren't on this table. And basically what it's saying is once you could place a 1 strength item here, 2 strength item here, and a 3 strength item here. And you want to try to get the 3 strength items for sure. Once you place at least 5 on this table, I can roll the d20. Where is it? Where did I put the d20 at? Am I just being... Oh, it's over here. I must be blind. So, say I have an item here, 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 and here. So, these 5 right here. What'd I roll? I rolled a 7. 7 is covered. So, I will be able to defeat the Displacer Beast. Now, say I rolled... What's this? A 17. 17's here. I only covered these 5 locations. 17 is not covered. So the Displacer Beast, I can move. I just simply move one of these items to a different location on here. Interesting. Very fun. Another monster that it seems like you may be able to defeat quickly, but the problem with the Displacer Beast is you have to kind of keep up with them. Alright. Let's talk about our next monster here. We have the Beholder. A very, very iconic D&D monster. Frenzy 4. What is your setup? Beholder. Place Beholder at the location indicated by the 4 Frenzy marker on here. Where would that be? Where's the 4 at? 4, 4, 4. Is it under here? It's probably under these. 4, 4, 4, 4. Oh, it's down here at Skull Island. So it spawns there. Alright. The Beholder. Objective. Damage Beholder's eye stalks and blind its central anti-magic eye to defeat it. Its power is the... oh, wait, we didn't even get into the miniature. Here's the miniature. Mine's a little bent. He's not, like, staying upright, but who knows, maybe it makes it a little cooler. All these are, like, you know, bendy plastic, so... But yeah, here it is. It has a little clear peg here to make it look like it's floating, which is really cool. Glad they did that. Yeah, there's the Beholder miniature. Alright, so yeah, these are what the X's are for. Power. Roll the d20 and compare the result to the Beholder's eye ray reference card. If the eye stalk has not been damaged, Beholder will use that ray. If the eye stalk is damaged, Beholder will use his anti-magic eye attack and force all heroes with them to discard 1 item. Okay, I kind of messed up my words, so I gotta roll a d20, compare the result to the Beholder eye ray reference card. So there's a reference card somewhere here. Oh, it's right here. If the eye stalk has not been damaged, Beholder will use that ray. If the eye stalk is damaged, Beholder will use his anti-magic eye and force all heroes to discard 1 item. So that's cool. All of its eyes do something different. And I'm assuming this has a back to it too, because it's it has multiple numbers. I guess I have to open these then, even though I was going to wait till, you know, I got to this point. I guess we could go through these real quick. But yeah, we got hero phases. I'm not gonna go over these, but if this is your first Horrified set, here you go. And pause it. And then here's the monster phase. Yeah, each player will get one of these reference cards. And then, let's see, we got monster cards here. Oh, this art could be very creepy. Makes you feel like you're in danger. Alright, those are all the cards. Oh, there's also perk cards I haven't opened, which are these. And these are a little more interesting. These are like that stained glass-esque painting kind of style that the character badges are in. But yeah, these are all the perk cards. And I think they're all the names of spells. Of course, you could pause these at any time and read them. Okay, that's a very common one. Okay. And that's the back of them. And then this is the back of the monster cards. Yeah, that's all those. All right. So the Beholder. So to damage it, at the Beholder's location, discard any item and roll the d20. If you roll a 1, you miss. If you roll a 2 to 15, damage the eye stock of your choice. If you roll a 6 to 19, damage up to 2 eye stocks of your choice. If you roll a 20, damage up to 3 eye stocks of your choice. Retrieve the item you discarded and gain a perk card. Of course, rolling a 20 rewards you handsomely. So you do have the potential to get rid of these eye stocks very quickly, but you could also get rid of them very slowly. But let's see what each of its eye stocks do. So if you roll a 1, you get lucky. The attack misses. 2 to 3 is the Charm Ray, which is this eye down here. Place a citizen in the Beholder's location. I'm assuming that citizen has to be on the board. If you roll a 4 to 5 is the Paralyzing Ray. Discard an item. The active player cannot move on their next turn. What item do you discard, though? 6 to 7, Fear Ray. All heroes and citizens move 1 location away from the Beholder. 8 to 9, the Slowing Ray. Discard an item or the active player will have 1 less action their next turn. If you roll a 10 or 11, the Enervation Ray. Any players with more than 2 items must discard down the 2 items. Oh, that sucks. If you roll a 12 to 13, the Telekinetic Ray. All players with items must place 1 item in the Beholder's location. Sleep Ray. All monsters move 1 location towards the active player. Petrification Ray. Discard an item, which is 16 to 17. Discard an item or the active player skips their next turn. 8 to 19 is the Disintegration Ray. Deal 1 hit to the closest character. And 20 is the Death Ray. Raise the terror level by 1, so you do not want to roll a 20 when the Beholder's using its ability. That's really cool. This monster might be the funnest one so far. I do like how each of its eyes do something different. That's really cool. It has so many abilities. Alright. Then we have step 2, which is defeat. You can blind the Beholder. Once you damage all 10 eye stalks, you may attempt to blind Beholder's central and anti-magic eye. At the Beholder's location, use 6 yellow square items to defeat it. And of course, for each eye you destroy, you put one of these X's on top of it to show that it is destroyed. Alright. And the final monster that we have to talk about is the Red Dragon, who's like a really big boss battle on its own. It has 2 whole monster mats. So let's see what the dragon's setup is, shall we? It is all this. So Red Dragon's campaign consists of 2 monster mats. Heroes must first find and collect the Orb of Dragonkind, and then they must use it at the Red Dragon's Hoard to defeat the monster. The Red Dragon's Hoard is one of the lairs that you can find. While Red Dragon is here, place items as indicated, then roll the d20. If the total of the rolls plus the strength of all items... If the total of rolls plus the strength of all items is over 20, you have defeated the Red Dragon. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Collect the Orb of Dragonkind, then they must use it at the Red Dragon's Hoard to defeat the monster. Oh, this is the second one. Never mind. This is the first one. Vault of the Orb of Dragonkind. Discard an item, move the same-colored obstacle any number of spaces. Collect the orb when it reaches the vault exit space. So that's the first one you gotta find. You place the 6 obstacle tokens near the Red Dragon's mat, which are all of these. These are all obstacle tokens here. And then you place the Orb of Dragonkind on its starting location on the Red Dragon mat, which is right here. That's where the orb starts. And it's yellow, so I guess you use yellow items to move it. And all of these will be placed on here, and you gotta like slide them out of the way. Flip the Red Dragon's Hoard monster mat to its reverse side and roll the d20. So the Red Dragon's Hoard monster mat is this. and you flip it to this side, and you roll a d20. The result of the die roll, which indicates which vault of the orb setup to use. Do not take or use a perk card for this d20 roll. Alternatively, you can choose any setup. So yeah, these are all the different combinations that you can place these in. But the orb always starts in the same place. Alright. Place all obstacles as indicated by the chosen challenge on the Red Dragon mat. Flip the Red Dragon's Horde monster mat back to its front side. Flip Red Dragon's Horde monster mat back to its... It's just the same thing again. It's the same exact sentence twice. 7. Place the Red Dragon at the location indicated by the 6. Which is... right here, the dragon's platform. Alright, notes. Red Dragon attacks as normal if any of its color symbols are revealed. It takes 1 move action to move into and out of the Red Dragon's Horde. Red Dragon's Horde is a single location, so monsters can attack any heroes there. Monsters and heroes can be affected by perk cards while in the Red Dragon's Horde. If there are any monsters on the main game board when the heroes are in the Red Dragon's Horde, they may move towards it and enter it. Alright. So let's get into... Well, first, let's look at the miniature, which needed its own bag because it's so big. It's not actually that big. But it's definitely the biggest miniature out of all the Horrified sets by a landslide, for sure. Oh, God. I can't even get it out of the bag. Hold up. Perhaps I put it in the wrong bag when I looked at it. Perhaps the other miniatures go in this bag. Alright, that was troublesome. But here is the big guy himself, the Red Dragon. As you can see, his wingspan is about the size of my palm. Or about the width of my hand. At least the center of it, at least. Alright, the tail. Very cool. And here he is compared to the other ones. Here's the Beholder. Here's the Displacer Beast. And where is that treasure chest? Here it is. Here's the Mimic. Alright. Now let's get how to defeat the Red Dragon and its 4-step process. So your objective is to claim the Orb of Dragonkind, lure the Red Dragon to their horde, and defeat them. Its power is Fire Breath. Every hero and citizen in Red Dragon's location is hit. So instead of rolling hits on the die and just attacking one character per hit, the dragon will attack all of you if it rolls something. But it's in its location, so it doesn't have the most dangerous power. Just try to stay away from it, I guess. Unless you have to get into its location. Advance. Solve the Vault of the Orb of Dragonkind. That is a mouthful. At the Vault of the Orb of Dragonkind lair location, discard an item. Move the same colored obstacle any number of spaces. You collect the orb when it's moved to the vault exit space. The player who collects the orb keeps it. It can be exchanged using a share action, but is not considered an item. Advance. Lure the Red Dragon. At Red Dragon's Horde location, use an action to draw one item from the Horrified Haversack. Red Dragon reacts by moving any number of locations equal to the item's strength towards the Red Dragon's Horde. Even if you do not have the orb, you can perform this advance action. So, basically, you're stealing from the Red Dragon's Horde, and it's not happy. So it's moving there quickly, and you're trying to lure it to its horde anyway. After you lure it to its horde, here's this. It will enter the horde. Step 2 can be performed even if the orb has not been found. Note, step 2 can be performed even if the orb has not been found. So you can have the Red Dragon in here. And the orb is not found, but you have to get the orb. Advance. Surround the lair. While Red Dragon is in the Red Dragon's horde, use an action to place an item or the orb of dragon kind in the indicated spots. Once the orb and all 3 items are placed, you may proceed to step 4. Okay, so you definitely need the orb for this part, though. So you're going to need to place the orb here. You're going to need to place a blue item here, a red item here, and a yellow item there. And only then can you move to step 4, which is destroy the Red Dragon. While Red Dragon is in Red Dragon's horde, roll the d20 and add the strength to the item placed in step 3. If you roll a total of 20 or higher, you defeat the Red Dragon. Otherwise, discard one of the placed items and return to step 3 to do it all again. Alright. So I'm assuming when the Red Dragon moves here, you place the Red Dragon here, and this is where the citizens stand. Unless this is the entry where it enters, and then you move it here. I'm not sure how this works, because it says Red Dragon's Horde entry portal to Red Dragon's Horde lair token. And then whatever this is. This might just be where you place the Red Dragon when he enters here. I'm not sure. But yeah, his horde is a bunch of gold. So the Red Dragon is just one humongous boss battle. But yeah, that's going to be it. This seems very fun. The D20, I think they implemented it perfectly. All the characters seem fun and interesting to play. The citizens are interesting and fun. And I think the monster I'm most excited to go against is the dragon. The dragon's just one big boss battle. They kind of did the same. They literally did the same thing with Cthulhu. But I think the Red Dragon's going to work a little bit better. And then, of course, I'm going to look up how to combine the sets. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.